We got 12 new vocabulary words for you here today from the JLPT N3 list. What we're going to do is write down each new word we see with old kanji 3 to 5 times, and every new kanji we see, we're going to write down 10 times for memorization. If you need help writing kanji, head on over to gisho.org. That's gisho.org. It's a really good dictionary program. If you need to look at these videos a little faster or a little slower, head on over to YouTube. And if you need to look at just the lists, and I've got all 319 up, go over to Google Drive. I've got all of my lists. Our first word for the day is moyo. Mo on the left side is, I think it's an imitation or a copy. And on the right side, we have yo, which is a way or manners. So a copy or an imitation of some pattern or way is a pattern, a figure, a model, or a design. A moyo is a design. Moyo is a design. Moyo is a design. Moyo. Moyo is a design. Moyo is a design. Moyo is a design or a pattern. Moyo. Moyo. Moyo is an imitation of a way of manner of doing things, which is a model, pattern, or design. Moyo. Number 2 is a rentaru. Rentaru is a rental. Rentaru. You can hear this one just came straight from English. Rentaru is a rental. Rentaru. No kanji here, just katakana. Nothing special. Rentaru. Number 3 is our second kanji for furui, or Q is our alternate pronunciation for old times, old things, old friend, or former. Radicals in this kanji are a single on the left side, and on the right side we have the sun. So a single sun before, a single sun. So we have a single line before the sun. So if you can think about it as the previous day or a few days ago, I think you'll get the old times or old things meaning. Old is furui or Q. Furui or Q is old times, an old friend, an old acquaintance, the former, or X. Q. Hokani furui. Furui. Hokani Q is old, an old friend, the former, or X. Furui. Number 4 is tsuini. This is an adverb kind of. Means finally, at last, or in the end. This is close to tsuku, which is to attach, and I like to think of it that way as it's tsuini, and finally attached at the end is something. Tsuini is finally or in the end. Tsuini is finally or in the end. Tsuini, finally or in the end. Number 5 is an ofisu gai. Gai on the right side is like a bureau or a district, like a residential district or an office district. And ofisu on the left side is just an office. So the office district is the business district or an office complex. Ofisu gai. Ofisu gai is the office complex or the business district. Ofisu gai is the business district or an office complex. Ofisugai. Isu dai is the business district. Number 6 is the zen ki. Zen is before or previous, and ki on the right side is a period or term. So the previous period or term is the first term, the first half year, the preceding period, literally, or the early period. Zenki is the first term or early period. Zenki is the early term, first term, or previous term. Zenki. Zenki is the previous or first term. Zenki. Zenki. Previous or first term or previous period. Zenki. Number 7 is toji. To is to hit, strike, or to hit a nail on the head, kind of, and ji on the right side is a time. So a previous time that you're referring to, or at that time, is like hitting the nail on that time, and not on the some other time we're talking about. At that time or in those days is toji. Toji is at that time or in those days. Toji. Toji. At that time or in those days. Toji. Toji is at that time or in those days. Toji. Number 8 is dokoka. Doko is where, it's the question word, and dokoka, as we discussed yesterday, is a kind of like an anonymousizer. It makes it kind of arbitrary. So dokoka is somewhere, anywhere, or in some respects, which is kind of the same thing as saying somewhere. Dokoka is somewhere or anywhere. Dokoka is somewhere or anywhere. Dokoka. Dokoka is somewhere or anywhere. Dokoka. Number 9 is top. Top is top in English. The top position is slang for it. Can also mean senior management or a senior bureaucrat, as in the top of your organization. Top. Top is top. Top is top. Top is top. Number 10 is kori. Koru is the verb for to freeze, and hyo is our alternate pronunciation. As you can see, this kanji is really just the kanji for water with a little ice pick at the top. Kori is to freeze, frozen, or to congeal. Kori. Kori. To freeze, frozen, or congeal. Koru is to freeze, our verb. Kori is ice itself. Koru. Kori. Freeze, frozen, or congeal. Kori is ice. Koru is to freeze or to congeal. Koru. To freeze or to congeal. Koru. Koru. To freeze or to congeal. Koru. Hokani hyo. Koru. Kori. Koru. To freeze or to congeal. Number 11 is ichinichi ju. Ichinichi is like every day or one day at a time, kind of. And ju is in the middle of. So throughout the day or all day long is ichi nichi ju. Ichi nichi ju. One day in the middle of is all day long or throughout the day. Ichi nichi ju. Ichi nichi ju. Ichi nichi ju. And finally, number 12 is susumeru, to recommend, to encourage, or to suggest, with our kanji kan, or susumeru, to recommend or advise. Radicals in this kanji are two lines. It's a little bit more complicated because they've stylized it, but it's two above an old bird with power. The way I look at this is two old birds as two old lady advisors who are giving you power through recommending or advising things. The power in old people is that they can advise and recommend things well. Susumeru, or kan, is to recommend or advise. Susumeru, or kan, is to recommend or advise. Susumeru is to recommend or advise. Susumeru. Susumeru is to recommend or advise. Susumeru. Susumeru. To recommend or advise. Susumeru. Susumeru is to recommend or advise. Let's go back to the top. Make sure we've got all these memorized for now. Make sure you make some flashcards and study these bad boys up. Our first word of the day was a pattern, figure, design, state, or the way it seems. This was a repetition of a manner or a moyo. Moyo is a pattern, design, or model. Moyo. Moyo. Number 2 was a rental, which was rentaru. Rentaru is a rental. Old times, old things, and old friends or former is furui, or kyu, with one day before, or kanji kyu. At last, or in the end, is tsuini, or adverb, kind of prepositional phrase like tsuini. The business district, or an office complex, is the ofisu gai. Ofisu for an office, and gai for a district or area. Ofisu gai. The first term, first half year, or preceding period, literal translation, is your zenki. Zen on the left side for before, and ki on the right side for period. Zenki is the previous period. At that time, or in those days, is toji, or hitting the nail on a previous day's head is toji. Toji is hitting sometime. Anywhere, or in some respects, or somewhere, is doko ka. Doko is where, and ka is our anonymousizer, as I'm calling it. Doko ka. The top position, or top, or senior management of some place is its top. It's just top in English, top. An icicle, ice, hail, or freeze. Ice itself is kori. To freeze or to congeal is koru. Alternate pronunciation is hyo for kori, with a water symbol with an ice pick in it. All day long, or all the day, is ichi nichi ju. Ichi for one, nichi for day, and ju throughout is in the middle. Ichi nichi ju. And finally, to recommend, to encourage, or to suggest is kan. Oka ni susumeru, which is two old birds giving you their power of recommendations and advice. Susumeru. Thanks for watching today, everybody. I hope you had a good week, and I hope you're looking forward to this weekend. Thanks for watching. どうもありがとうございました。じゃあ、またね。